so get your Scout spirit and join me in this video. We are going to start off the episode by talking about equipment. So there is some stuff that you are allowed to bring, some stuff that you aren't, and some stuff that you should bring. You always need to be prepared for any circumstance that might happen at campouts, including weather, which I will talk about in part 2. Some of the stuff I like to bring to campouts are a pen, a pencil, and some books to write in because you forget stuff. Some pastimes when you have free time. You need to bring water receptacles, a mess kit and a first aid kit, closed-toed shoes, which I will talk about in part 2, some smaller stuff like knives, medical equipment, and work gloves, which I'll talk about in part 2 as well, some tent necessities, a personal hygiene kit, extra rope, extra stakes, and a sitting pad, and the Scout book. Here you are going to see me unpacking everything I usually bring to campouts. So this is part 1 of a multiple part series. This first episode, along with the second one, will be about equipment you need and should bring. I will also have some episodes on cooking, planning, and activities that you can do on campouts. The goal of this camping series is to prep you for your entire camping career, including if you are organizing the camp or giving a presentation at camp. These should include summer camps and high adventure camps. So this next stuff are stuff that is completely optional to bring, like pastimes, extra stakes, some headwear, jewelry. Even though I don't have that much jewelry, some campouts require it though. Knives, multi-tools, carabiners, and alarm clocks. So something to pass the time with is extremely useful to bring because sometimes you have free time. I will go over this in another video. Some kind of large bag is useful to bring to separate clean clothes from dirty clothes. That was so you know which ones to wash after camp, but we should probably wash all of them anyway. Extra stakes are a necessity because some scouts don't bring enough stakes to stake down their tent, and you can use them to make clotheslines and stuff like that. Work gloves, beanies, and stuff like that are super useful to bring because they help you sleep, and sometimes the troop will just have work to do, which I will explain later. Multi-tools and knives, once you have the tote and shit, which I will explain in another video, are super useful to bring, along with things like extra batteries for fans, alarm clocks, flashlights, headlamps, everything like that. Some medical equipment, nail clippers, chapstick, and eye drops are super useful to bring, and I highly recommend bringing all of them. Even small measuring tapes and carabiners I recommend bringing, because sometimes you need to measure stuff and carabiners are just useful. Clocks and tent lamps are really nice to bring. They're not needed, but I highly recommend them, especially for camps like summer camp or NYLT. Some cases you will be able to use camp mugs, and when you can, they are fun to bring. If you have glasses, a glasses case is almost required, and always bring some kind of rope. Pens, pencils, notepads, and books are super useful to bring because you tend to forget stuff, which I will explain in detail later in the video. So again, this stuff is all optional. You can bring it if you want to, but it's not needed. This next stuff I will cover, though, is 100% required. Things such as tents, sleeping bags, closed-toed shoes, some sort of portable light source, a mess kit, or any eating utensils are all required. The Scout book is probably the most required thing to. Instead of any kind of lamp, I recommend bringing a headlamp instead of a bigger portable one. A toiletries bag is very important because it keeps all of your stuff to keep yourself clean, including soap, toothbrushes, and toothpaste all together. Always bring extra rope no matter what. You should have some kind of mess kit, though some supply dishes. Closed-toed shoes, which I'll talk about in part 2, are required. Some sort of first aid kit, which I'll also talk about in part 2, is pretty much required. I will make a better video on this later, though. A sleeping bag and some sort of sleeping pad or cot are required. And obviously, 2 camp tents are required, unless it is a special camp out like an OA induction, which I will talk about in another video. Some bigger stuff that I also like bringing are battery-powered fans, pillows, and camp chairs. Some people are fine without this stuff, but I highly recommend bringing it for your comfort. These things do take up a lot of space when you're packing your bag or trunk for a summer camp or any regular camps, so just keep that in mind if you're getting them. With a tent, it needs to be easy and quick for you to put up, because you can arrive at camp late when the sun is about to set, and I have experience with setting up tents late. You do not want to set up tents in the dark, even if you have a headlamp or any other kind of portable light source. So I'm going to set up my tent, and my brother will set up his, and these tents are the Passenger 2 tents from REI. They can fit 2 people, but it's comfortable for 1, and they are very easy to put up. When it comes to tents, it is ultimately your choice, but I highly recommend smaller tents that are easier to put up. Bigger tents that have blackout capabilities and that can house 4 people are not required. I prefer the smaller ones because I can put them up 1,000 times quicker, and they're just easier to store as well.
Now it's time for the rainfly.
Rainflies are very important for multiple reasons, and I will say 2 right now: privacy and obviously rain cover, or protection from rain. But if you want to know more, go watch the video I named Wise Words from My Brother. The buddy system is a big rule in Scouting America, which is basically a scout cannot be alone no matter what rank or what age. If you see a scout walking away from camp alone, pull them over and say that they have to have a buddy. However, there are some exceptions to this. If there is, say, an outhouse 20 feet away, visible from camp, then the scout can go alone. Even if scouts are just sitting alone on a bench or walking to a merit badge class that's like 50 feet away, they need to have a buddy. I will make a better video on this later. This is just a brief talk about it so you get the point for your first camp out. You have to have a buddy.
No.
No sitting alone. You should know that. You're a first-class scout.
No. I'm joking. It's always good to have a buddy.
Yes, it is. Thank you for agreeing. Agree. Along with being easy to put up, your tent should be very easy to take down, because taking down and packing your equipment on the last day of camp is the last thing you want to do, whether it be personal equipment or troop gear. So if it's easy to put away, you'll feel better after camp and during camp on the last morning. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. This week's shout out goes to my brother, Everett Adams. He helped me with this video, as you saw earlier, and he is also a very great help in Scouts because we do merit badges together, and such badge is the Weather Merit Badge, where he helped with the presentation. So shout out goes to my brother, and see you guys in the next video.